G'day folks, it's Cortezerino. We are on top of the city today. See, last episode I was flying around looking for a place to build my Dodgems game. And Addictive G and Rymanora watched that episode and they said, do you want to build it inside of our Buckley's Chance casino? See, the building's been built for a while now, but we haven't got any gambling games in it yet. So I'm going to put my game in and I'll have to figure out some sort of gambling aspect to it, but we'll do that after I've put it in because I sort of need to know how much space I'm going to have. Now, usually the space thing wouldn't be a problem because I designed the game to be built underground. So down there would be the intelligent place to build it. But where's the fun in that? So I'm going to try and build it right up here on the top floor. I think I've got my redstone. Well, I know I have. I've measured it out enough that it's small enough to fit in here, and then I should be able to obscure the redstone through those windows so you don't look in and just see an awful mess. But I think it'd be fun just to fly around the city and land here on the rooftop and be able to watch the game from up on top here and enter the game. So that's what I'm going to do. I've gone and grabbed myself a ton of resources, and I think I've got pretty much everything I'm going to need. I've brought more than I think I'm going to need, actually, except for these observer blocks. This game contains 361 observer blocks. That's a fair bit. And really, I could have replaced half of them with repeaters, but there's a very good reason for that I'm using the observer blocks instead of repeaters. Observer blocks are cooler, so that's what I'm going to use. And we might throw this in a time lapse because I'm bored of talking. Alrighty, so the game's in place now, and I've discovered a problem that I didn't think of before. that's a big spawning area down there. Like, it's okay now that I've built it on the ceiling here, so sunlight will stop the mobs from spawning, but at night it's going to get pretty nasty down there. But now I've got to figure out some sort of system for making this a gambling game. So basically I need a pulse to come out of this game when you win. And I don't currently have anything rigged up for that, but I sort of know what I want to do because I did the same thing when I built Space Invaders. So I'm just going to recreate the circuit that I want, and then we'll try and put it into the design somewhere. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to need a signal that is always on while the game is running. And that will be easy enough. And I'm going to run that signal into a dropper-hopper combination. The dropper is going to have an item inside, so if at any point in time while you're playing the game, if the tripwires are triggered, which means you've lost, it's going to fire this dropper, and the item is going to end up inside of that hopper because and it's going to stay there because the game is running and it's locked. And so if we push the button here, you'll see that the item changes to the hopper and stays there, and that means you've lost the game. And when the game's finished, the signal turns off, the hopper unlocks, and everything resets. So it's nice and easy. All right, let's just change this right here. We don't want a block there, we want a torch. This will be better. So when the game's running, that torch will be turned on, locking that hopper, and then we'll have a signal coming out of this block over here. So when the game finishes, it's going to send a signal out through here. We'll turn it into a pulse with one of these guys, and we'll put a repeater right here, and that repeater is going to get locked if there's an item inside of that hopper. So we'll just push the button, a tripwire's been triggered, there's an item in there, the comparator's picking it up, and we're just going to send the signal over to this repeater, and we're going to lock it. So at the end of the game, when the game turns off, a signal is going to try and pass through this repeater, but if you've lost the game, it's not going to be able to. So let's give this a test run. Game's over. And the light does not come on, but and you can see there it's all reset, ready for the next game. So this time we haven't hit a tripwire. Let's turn the game off. Light comes on. You've won the game. Okay, now I've got to put this in somewhere. So I'm in my camera account now, and we're just flying around the top of the building where I've built the machine. And you know what? The redstone doesn't look too bad. You don't really notice it. So I was going to try and build a bit of a wall between the windows and the redstone, but I don't think it needs it. I have to put some floors in, the ceiling and a bottom floor, so you can't look up at it. But yeah, that's not too bad. And I'm on the camera account now because I've put the new system in, but it's all down low, so it'd be a bit hard in my normal account running around on Netherrack. So yeah, we're just going to do a flyby. So I needed to take a signal from these tripwire hooks, and I already had a signal for that where this redstone and powered rail is. It runs over an observer block, and it takes the signal all the way down here to reset the game. So I've just taken the dust from here and run it over into my little dropper hopper device. And for when the game is running, I've got this signal right here. So there's the item in the hopper that sits there when the game's turned off. So I've just brought the signal down this way into that torch. So when the game's running, that item's going to be in the system. So that comparator won't be powered, and that'll turn on. And the only other cool thing, like, it's exactly what I built above the top of the game there. The only cool thing I put in is I had this bit of space here. So I put in a little note block tune to say, hey, you've won, as it sends the signal over to a dropper here that's got diamond blocks in it. So if you win a game, it's going to send a signal to this dropper, and a little diamond block's going to pop up right here as your reward. But it's a gambling game, so it has to cost money to play. So instead of the button, I've now got a chest. You have to put a diamond in there. And I've just done a little item sorter that checks to make sure it was indeed a diamond you put in, and that'll send out a signal. And that's our new start of the game. So it costs a diamond to play every game, but if you win, which is very, very hard, you get a diamond block back. And I've gotten a little bit lazy with this system, so if they accidentally put in more than one diamond, or if they put in something else like their best diamond sword by accident, I keep that. It goes into this chest here. I couldn't have been bothered rigging up a system to return it to them, so, you know, tough luck if they throw that in. So if you've been watching this episode thinking, what is he building? He hasn't really explained it. If you don't really know what I'm up to here, just go back and check out my previous episode where I design this game. But we are going to play a game of this in a minute just to make sure that all these systems are working correctly. But the only other thing I think I'll point out, I didn't show it in my previous episode. What it does is it has cars running at you, and every 20 seconds or so the track gets shorter by a whole bunch of pistons raising up a line of these wool blocks right here. And the way I've done that is really, really simple, because all these pistons are triggered by observer blocks. So if I want to raise up an entire line of them, all I do is over here I've got a bunch of pistons with observer blocks in front of them, and they will just, they're not sticky pistons, they're regular pistons. When an item passes through this hopper, it pushes all the observer blocks across by one. That sends out a 1 tick pulse, and these pistons will push the blocks up and leave them there. And then when the game's over, we get a signal through to these regular pistons, and they push them all back. Really, really simple way of doing it, but let's play a game. So I was a little bit worried about server lag killing this, and I played one game just after I finished building it, just to make sure everything was working correctly, and I did notice something about server lag with this, at least with my connection. Sometimes things seem to be happening a split second before I actually see them. See, there was a bit of a... Oh! I forgot to move forward. I was concentrating on talking too much. Oh, we'll see if it works when you lose. The game's resetting, and we should not get a diamond block. No diamond block. Alright, let's try and win this one. We're not going to win this, but let's give it a go. Another game. It resets pretty quickly. I'm quite happy with it. So, what I was saying is, things seem to be happening before I see them happening. So, sometimes a car will look like it hasn't reached me yet, and yet the tripwires still get triggered. So I am suffering a little bit to lag here. So it might not be great for me, my connection's not that good, but for a few of the other guys on the server, it hopefully should work a bit better. And perhaps if I turned my render distance way down, that would help. Okay, I am having absolutely no luck with winning this game. So let's just let it run through a cycle without me in it. So we'll actually get a win, and we'll make sure the diamond block pops out okay. So this will take a while to run through. But the only other thing I've got to build is, like I said before, a ceiling and a floor below. A bit of a stairway to get down to this thing. I won't bother putting any access from below just yet, because I don't know what the floors below are going to look like. But also, I think I might try and deal with some of the spawning spaces in there, which may be as simple as putting a bunch of sea lanterns across the walls. That should do the trick. Although, I could put the sea lanterns as these white marks in the road. I might try that as well, that could look cool. Alright, I think we're on the second last lap now. You can see there's not much reaction time, and it's a little bit glitchy with the server lag, but I'm sure it's still somewhat playable. Okay, I think this is the last lap, yep. So this light in the middle turns on when it's the last lap, just so you know. And this one is near impossible. I don't expect anyone to really win this, but it is possible. Okay, so the game is nearly done. Look at that lag. Look at that lag. Hopefully it doesn't break the game, it just makes it near impossible. Okay, game resets. Yes! And we got a diamond block for winning. Hooray! Alright, we are done. It's raining right now, but I don't care. We're going to finish the episode. I ended up changing out these lines for sea lens. I don't know if you saw it in the time lapse, but I had a zombie in here. That was pretty nasty. But I've left myself a little hidey hole down through here so I can get to all my chests with the diamonds and to the dropper with the diamond blocks in it. And I also put another, you can't even see it from this side. Let's go over here. I put another floor down below because this is the obvious place for the floor to be because of where the windows are. But all my redstone was dropping down a bit more, so I put another floor there just so you're not going to see it from down below. And it's not wasted space. If we put another game in the floor below that, then that can all be used for more redstone. And the only other thing I put in is just up here because I am such a nice guy and a little worried about server lag. Here's the lamp that turns on when you're on the final lap. So the final lap's really hard, but getting to the final lap isn't too bad. So right next to that torch, I've put a dropper full of diamonds. So if you can make it to the final lap, even if you can't complete the game, you will get a diamond. That dropper is going to spit the diamond straight through the wall. See, it's hidden just behind that block over there, so the diamond will pop out. So yes, I've put some signs up over here. So place a diamond in the chest to start the game. Money back for reaching the final lap. So that's that dropper over there. If you reach the final lap, you get your diamond back. Because this wasn't a money-making exercise. This was just for fun, but we built it in a casino. So I had to add the money feature. And of course, diamond block for a win. Nobody win, please. I am very poor. Okay, well this is going to be a bit of a dreary outro with all this rain up here. But I am done, guys. However, this is a very, very tall skyscraper, you know, this casino. So if you've got another idea for a game, like I'm sort of half working on Frogger at the moment, but that'll never fit in here. So if you've got an idea and you would like to see my take on it, then let me know and I'll give it a go. So cheers from me, guys. I'm Cortezerino. See you later.